Just this concept of immanentizing the eschaton was just something that I thought a lot about while watching this movie, particularly with regards to the institutional corruption of the Catholic Church as portrayed in this film. Just this notion of we're going, and again, it feels really weird to talk about this because we see our executive branch doing this on a global scale right now, and it's what fucked up.
Yeah, this is what like certain branches of evangelicals want to do, correct? Like hasten the end of the world.
Yes, exactly. Like Pete, when you get the Secretary of War standing up in front of the U.S. military and saying this is a holy war that we're waging to bring about the perfected end, like that is straight out of Eric Voegelin. This notion of we're going to do what we can due to this distorted vision that we have of what perfection is, attempt to bring about the second coming of Christ, attempt to bring about the end of the world by the holiest of means. And it always ends in evils and atrocities committed on this kind of scale. Like that was and Voegelin references, among other people, like figures like Hitler and Stalin, their idea of bringing about this perfected end.
Yep. And this is a big part of the Christian identity movement.
Yes.
Which is like really central to Christian white nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
It is like way overrepresented in the Christian white nationalist movement. This is largely in the country, not a very large population. But when you look at the Christian white nationalist population, it is way overrepresented. They are like, they want the end of the world.
It's the fucking TikToks of people like dancing in their living rooms with their iced coffees because, everyone's whining about the end of the world, but that means I just get to see Jesus quicker. And you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, from the Wikipedia article, kind of an explanation of the modern, perception of immanentizing the eschaton. In contemporary terminology, this process is sometimes described as hastening the eschaton or hastening the apocalypse. In this sense, it refers to a phenomenon related to millenarianism, and the specific Christian form of millennialism, which is based on a particular reading of the Christian Bible's Book of Revelation, specifically popular among evangelicals in the United States. Yeah. This notion that Jesus is coming back, which again is... I talked about this in our episode on the original Omen film. That whole read, the idea that the apocalypse is, Revelation is a telling of how the world will end, is a complete misreading of that text, but that's neither here nor there. But this idea that we're going to hasten the second coming of Christ by making this world as terrible as possible for as many people as possible so it can be as good as possible for us.
And that's very new, too, relatively, isn't it?
Relatively. I mean, a lot of this shit is born out of... And I'm probably going to misquote this because I'm not an eschatologist. That's not it was never my field of study or my field of interest. But this notion, I think it's born out of the 60s, out of this kind of religion. And obviously the roots go further back, but it really becomes popularized in the 60s.
My understanding of all this comes from the white nationalist, white supremacist end of it. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I was raised in this shit. So like I have I went to, my degree is in religion and philosophy. So like I have a very unique perspective on a lot of this shit because this is what I was raised with. This is what I grew up knowing to be true. Right. So like there's a lot of this shit that's like still in my DNA in a very in a way that disturbs me still to this day to my core. Like, I recognize this in myself, and I know Brian and I have had a lot of conversations about this. I'm actually going to be talking about the Omen on Holy Terrors in a couple of months.
Awesome.
So stay tuned, I guess. But like just about kind of the eschatology angle. So I've got to do some more reading, but like a lot of this comes out of these like books of prophecy that became very popular. And again, I talked about this on the original Omen episode, these books of prophecy that come out in the 70s as a result of this kind of disillusionment with institution. Like Catholicism becomes this kind of balm to people in the wake of, Watergate in Vietnam. So we get a lot of this, the church then kind of starts to dig its fingers in, dig its nails in, and that's very much leads to where we are today and why we are where we are today. It has its roots even